everyone, it's Sarah from stampingwithlove.net. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I wanted to show you these gorgeous little crackers that I've been making. As you can see, they say Easter greetings on them, and I just thought they'd make the most beautiful decorations for my table for my Easter lunch. I know it's a bit unique doing crackers for Easter, but when I looked it up online, actually they're selling them in the supermarket, so it's obviously an idea that's catching on, and I just thought they were really pretty, especially in this gorgeous Floral Romance Speciality Designer Series paper that's in the Spring Summer catalogue. Gorgeous colours for spring and for Easter. And yeah, I just thought I'd show you how simple they are to make. I went ahead and found these cute little mini eggs, individually boxed. You can get them from Amazon like this, and they fit perfectly inside the dimensions for this cracker, but obviously you could fill them with any sort of chocolates or sweets that you wanted. So I thought I'd show you how I made them, but today I'm going to be using some Sahara Sand cardstock, because you can also obviously use cardstock for the cracker. The only thing about it is it's going to be a bit tougher to punch it using my envelope punch board. So if you've got sort of sore hands, or you find the punching a bit difficult, you probably want to stick to the DSP. But let me show you how I did it. So starting with my piece of Sahara Sand cardstock, I've cut this at 7.5 inches on the long side, 7 inches on the shorter side. A piece of the Floral Romance DSP, and that's been cut at 7.5 inches on the long side, 2.5 inches on the shorter side. I'm going to start by scoring my cardstock. So starting on the long side, I'm going to score at 1.5 inches, 3 inches, 4.5 inches, 6 inches, rotate the cardstock, and we're going to score at 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches, rotate 180 degrees. And on the left side, score again at 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches. And that's all our scoring done. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and burnish and fold these score lines. And then I'm folding inward on the most sort of inner line, back on itself on that middle line, and forward again on that top line, and then turning it around, folding again inner on this line, backward on the middle line, and away from me again on that top line. Okay, so when we kind of finish all of our folding and burnishing of our lines, we end up with the spring of the cracker there, and if I flip it over, you can see all the panels of the cracker going downward like that. So really simple. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in my envelope punch board, and we're going to do our punching. And what we want to do is, looking at this, we want to look at this central line of the springy part of the cracker, and we're going to be punching on the middle parts, the centre points of each panel, going down like this on both sides. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm standing up for this because it would be really hard to do it, and you just want to make sure that that line, as much as possible, is lined up with that silver punch of the board. That's kind of the best guide for you to make sure that you're lining it up correctly. Okay, I'll do that and that, and then you want to fold it down. So now I'm going to be punching through 2 pieces of cardstock. It is going to be quite tough to do. Takes a bit of welly. fold it down again and do exactly the same thing. So all of the sides have actually been done now. We've just got that end panel to do. And the final one. That's all our punching done. Okay, and we're now left with our cracker shape. So all our panels, the springy part of the cracker at both sides like this, and all that we need to do now is adhere the end panels together. Obviously you're aiming to get all your kind of punch parts matching up as much as possible. So I'm going to get some tear and tape, and I'm going to literally put tear and tape on the entire panel. And on the side part of the end panel of the cracker as well. And as I always like to do, I'm just taking my bone folder and going over that tear and tape part. Just gone a little bit over the edge there. Just going to cut that off. Now remove all my backings from the tear and tape. And then as we fold over the end panels on each other again, just being mindful that we want everything to line up as much as possible. I think I'll go that way. That. The end. Okay, and that is the cracker. So the seam is at the bottom, and now I can actually slip my mini eggs inside like that. Now obviously at the open ends of the cracker you are going to see the top and bottom of whatever you put inside, and I don't want that to show. So I've cut 2 extra panels of Sahara Sand cardstock at just under 1.5 inches, so just a 1/16 of an inch shorter on both sides. And I'm just going to lay that on either end of the box. Okay, and then you can see if I push these 2 together, that's my cracker basically made. So now with my vellum, this is going to form the central part of the decoration on the cardstock. And what I find is the easiest way to make sure that it's going to fit correctly around the box is to kind of tease the DSP around the box, pinching the edge where it hits. Hold that in place, rotate your box around, and do exactly the same thing. And what you want to do is do that all the way around the box, and that way you know that it's going to be scored correctly to fit your box exactly. Okay, So that gives me the guidelines of where the lines kind of fall. If I hold it that way, you can see it a bit better. And I'm now going to score over the lines that have been put in like this. So, starting, find your bottom seam, and that's where I'm going to start off, like so. And I'm just going to literally put tear and tape on this part here to adhere the two sides together. And I'm just cutting 3 pieces on again, because I want to make sure that both sides will stay adhered. Okay, and I want the vellum to kind of be even in the centre of the central part of the cracker, so I'm just going to hold that really carefully in place before I adhere the two parts together. And there we have our cracker done and the vellum in place, which is fantastic. And now to decorate the sides of the cracker, I'm going to be using some ribbon. Obviously you can take any of these beautiful colours from the vellum, but I've decided I'm going to go with the Pear Pizzazz. I've got some Pear Pizzazz shimmer ribbon, which is absolutely beautiful, and I love the contrast between that and the Sahara Sand cardstock. So I know a lot of people like to do bows on the end of their cracker. I'm not going to, simply because I don't think it will look great if I can't get the bows to match evenly, and I don't mind the way knots look. So I'm just going to tie it on, but obviously you could very easily put on, add a bow to the ribbon. So I'm just going to try and get that in the centre. And I'm going to tie it again. So. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. Okay, so that's the cracker basically done, and now all that's left is for me to do add my sentiment to the cracker. And I've taken this gorgeous little Easter greetings, which comes from Fable Friends, which is this gorgeous little Easter stamp set with all the lovely animals on it, and it's that sentiment right there. I've got a piece of Sahara Sand cardstock, and I'm just going to go over that with my embossing buddy. Take my Versamark and stamp that straight onto my cardstock. And I'm just going to pour my gold embossing powder over the top of that. I like to always do that a few times to get a good, really good coating on the sentiment. Tap off any excess powder. Okay. And now I'm going to just heat up my tool, my heat tool, and get this heat embossed. Okay, so if I hold that up, you can see how gorgeous. I love heated embossing. I never get bored of it. It always looks so beautiful. Okay, so we've got our sentiment done, and I've got my die, which has come from the Stitched Labels dies, and I'm just going to literally lay that over the top of my sentiment. Stampin dimensionals, and I'm just going to literally adhere my dimensionals to the back of my label. And stick it on top. Always got to add a few embellishments. The basic, our basic adhesive sequins are perfect. They go really well with this paper. I think I'm going to go for some petal pink, and I'm just going to put one there, another one over here, and I think I'm going to add one of those gorgeous flowers over here, the frosted flower embellishments. And I think I'm going to go for a fresh fig one. I prefer that over there. I'll just move the sequin up there. I kind of wanted it to be different to the fresh fig flower on the paper. And there we have it. Cracker is all done. I think that's just absolutely stunning. It would look absolutely stunning on your Easter table. And obviously using the cardstock, it does take a bit of extra pressure with the punch board. It takes a bit more effort, but obviously that's quite a cost-effective way of actually making your crackers. And Masaris cardstock always looks so classy and beautiful, I think. But obviously if you don't want to have to put the extra pressure on with the punching, then stick to the DSP, and it works really great too. So I'll bring the other ones back in, and there you have it. There they are, my Easter crackers. Hope you've enjoyed the project today. If you'd like to learn more about the project, you can click on the link in the description below, or head over to my blog at stampinwithlove.net if you'd like any more ideas. So thanks very much for joining me, and I will see you very soon.